Hi, it's Mrs. Hoppy, and I wanted to make a quick video to show you some strategies you can talk with your students about when text seems overwhelming, because that's a pretty common thing that we saw in student feedback. So I'm not making this video for you to show students. I just want to model for you some of the things you can point out to them. When we look at a text, now let me move this. I want you to remember that the screens I'm showing are from the training test. This is actually the 3rd through 5th grade language arts training test. We can't make videos or take pictures of the actual secure browser. So this is an example that you can show your students. Let me get rid of this and to this. So I'm looking at this text and I scroll down, and to a student that maybe reading isn't their strongest skill, it might feel like a lot. So we want to make sure they know the features that are in the CAASPP browser that can help them. The first is this right here. These arrows, click and make it wider, than the scroll doesn't seem quite so long. Okay, the second, if the text is small, don't be intimidated. Zoom in and get through the text. Okay, the other thing that they have in addition to this arrow is a line reader. So if you click on line reader, it'll start on the first one. You just click when you're done, and that can help you go line by line to keep their place, because sometimes if you don't have that and you scroll, you lose your place, you have to start again, and then it can be very discouraging. Okay, so this line reader might be helpful. So those are some features to tackle the text. But another suggestion is this: show them and practice with them in CAASPP resources and other things. Read the questions first. I'm sure many teachers teach this strategy regularly. This question has 2 parts. Part A, which statement about the boys? I'm going to zoom out because that got... Okay, so I can read that. I'm looking for one of these statements about the boys and which one supports the answer. So which of these supports the sentence they chose here? Now let's look at the second question. Why did the author include the final sentence in the passage? Pick 2. So I'm looking for the end. That might be like the moral. Now, after I know what I'm looking for, I can come over here. Sometimes it might be a nonfiction article about something. They don't have to read to understand the whole thing. They're reading to be able to answer those 2 questions. And sometimes that focus can help it not feel overwhelming. Okay, so we talked about expanding, the line reader, reading the questions first. The last thing, let's say one of the questions when I get to it was a question about something. Oh, this is the part where his eyes widened. Okay, I can highlight that, and in the menu, I can highlight it in whatever color I want. That makes it easier to find when I refer back. Okay, so if you use highlighting in your classroom with instructional materials, make sure you show them they can highlight. So when texts feel long, we're going to practice our stamina and get through it. We've got the arrow, we've got the line reader, we've got the zoom in, we have the highlighter. And then if you just feel tired of this and I can't anymore, remember, if I'm not positive that these are the 2 I want, I can mark them for review. Hang on, I'm going to need an answer here. I can mark them for review and go to the next page so I can get a new topic. And when I look at questions, I'll be able to see which ones are flagged. Okay, so that flag will help if you're feeling tired of the selection. You've done your best, but you know that's not quite the answer you're sure of. You want to review, flag for review. All right, so those are some of the features you want to make sure you're sharing with your students so that they can practice them, use them outside of CAASPP resources in your lessons so that the long texts don't feel as overwhelming. All right, thanks for all you do for our kids.